No one in Cagnac-les-Mines believed their story would end like this. It was the kind of town where people still waved from their porches, where children rode bicycles until the streetlights flickered on, where marriages, even unhappy ones, were expected to last, quietly, stubbornly, without questions. Delphine Jubillar was 33 years old, a nurse, a mother of two, known for her kindness, her exhaustion, and her habit of worrying about everyone except herself. Cédric Jubillar was 36, a painter by trade, unemployed more often than he admitted, charismatic when he wanted to be, explosive when he felt cornered. From the outside, they looked like a family under strain, but still intact. 2 children, a modest house, arguments that sounded like every other couple arguing behind closed doors. But inside that house, something had been decaying for years. Delphine felt alone long before she disappeared. She worked long shifts at the hospital. COVID had stretched her thin. She came home exhausted, smelling of antiseptic and fear, only to step into a house heavy with resentment. Money was tight, conversations turned sharp, silences turned colder. Friends noticed the change. She was quieter, one later said, like she was shrinking. Cédric, meanwhile, felt abandoned in a different way. He told people Delphine had changed, that she no longer listened, that she no longer loved him the way she used to. What he didn't say, what no one heard clearly enough, was how afraid he was of losing control. In the final months, Delphine spoke about leaving, about divorce, about starting over. For her, it was hope. For him, it was threat. If stories like this matter to you, if truth, justice, and the voices of victims deserve to be heard, take a moment to subscribe, like, comment, and share. These stories only survive when people are willing to listen. The shadow had already fallen. No one saw how close the night was. December 15th, 2020. A winter night settled over Cagnac-les-Mines. The air was sharp, streets empty, curfews still hung in people's minds. Inside the Jubillar home, tension filled the rooms like smoke. The children were asleep. What happened next would never be fully reconstructed, but fragments survived. Later, one child would speak of raised voices, of fear, of something breaking. Around 11 p.m., Delphine sent her last messages, routine, nothing alarming, no farewell, and then nothing. No phone activity, no bank card, no trace. Morning came. Cédric woke up alone. Delphine wasn't there. Her car was still parked outside, her purse still inside the house, her coat untouched. At dawn, Cédric called emergency services. "My wife is missing," he said. His voice sounded confused, almost calm. The words spread fast. By mid-morning, neighbors gathered. Police sealed off the street. Helicopters circled fields and forests. Posters went up. "Have you seen Delphine Jubillar?" The entire country watched as days turned into weeks. No body, no crime scene, no answers. But in true crime, absence is never silence. It's tension waiting to break. Grief looks different on everyone. Cédric cried in front of cameras. He pleaded for Delphine to come home. He held his children tightly. But something felt off. Police noticed inconsistencies, statements that shifted, timelines that didn't align. Neighbors came forward. They spoke of screaming, of arguments that frightened the children, of Delphine confiding she wanted to leave. Investigators listened. Then the media turned. Headlines hardened. From missing wife to husband under suspicion. Delphine's family watched in agony as public attention shifted away from hope and toward accusation. They wanted answers. They wanted her back, alive or not. And slowly, painfully, they began to believe she wasn't coming home. Behind closed doors, detectives built a case without a body, one of the hardest things in criminal justice. Motive, opportunity, behavior, each piece alone meant nothing. Together, they began to tell a story. June 2021, Cédric Jubillar was arrested. The shock rippled through France. No body, people argued. How can you arrest a man without proof? But prison doors closed anyway. Cédric insisted on his innocence. He told lawyers he was being framed by circumstance, that he loved his wife. In prison, time stretches. Days became years. Delphine's family lived in limbo, mourning without a grave, searching without hope. The children grew older without answers, and outside, the public split into camps. Guilty, innocent, monster, victim. The truth waited patiently. The trial opened in Albi, the courtroom filled with tension so thick it felt physical. Prosecutors spoke of control, of rage, of a man who couldn't accept abandonment. Witnesses testified, arguments, screams, fear. Delphine's mother wept. Cédric listened stone-faced. He spoke when it was his turn. "I didn't kill my wife." His voice didn't shake, but doubt doesn't need certainty, it only needs weight. And the weight was crushing. October 2025, the courtroom fell silent. 30 years, guilty of murder, no body, no confession, no burial site revealed. Delphine's family cried, not with relief, but with exhaustion. Justice had spoken. Truth, however, remained incomplete. Cédric stood motionless as guards led him away. Some said justice was done, others said something essential was missing, but the law had chosen its truth. After the verdict, life didn't return to normal. It never does. The children lived with scars invisible to cameras. Delphine's family learned how to grieve without remains. Cognac-les-Mines moved on, but quietly. The house stood unchanged, a crime scene frozen in memory. Justice is not always closure. Sometimes it is simply acknowledgement. Delphine's name did not disappear. It became a warning, a reminder, a call to listen sooner, to believe women, to take fear seriously. Her life ended in silence, but her story did not. And in that truth, painful, incomplete, undeniable, there was transformation. Not resurrection, but resolve.